Hello, my name is Mordred Viking, and I'd like to welcome you to this stream of Europa Universalis IV. This is the Community Clash multiplayer, and this is the 7th session. We are joined here by, I think, pretty much everyone. The only nations which are not present today is Sweden, played by Cold Rage, having some Wi-Fi issues apparently, and Ulm. Ulm is not here either, so let's see if AI Ulm does not implode in the same way that player Ulm has seemingly had a tendency to do. Twitching!
Bossman!
Hello.
Sorry, before we start, I was told I can just come straight to you for the technical stuff here,
Yep.
then go through your admin. 2 minutes and then we'll start?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, I'll let everyone know.
Cool, thanks. So yes, Twitching, thank you very much for the Twitch Prime subscription, very much appreciate that. Welcome to the Modlings. The other thing I should mention is, as Fior was just mentioning, we have got a new administrator. So you will notice that I am no longer the only observer. We have Richard, also known as Poet, who is one of the moderators, and he is basically acting as the game admin. Their job is to check that nobody is breaking any rules, so if someone is breaking rules, he can go in and say, look, are you aware you're doing this? This is how much time you have, fix it. Because we've had a couple of issues with rules either being broken, most of the time not because players didn't realise, or we just needed some feedback or some more discussion about how rules exactly work and are implemented. And I cannot do that when I'm live and streaming. It's too much, especially with 30 players to keep a handle on. So now I have a second observer whose singular role it is to handle all of that stuff for me, which will be really freaking amazing. They are also going to be talking to the players as the players are playing, and if a player wants anything brought up to our attention or anything, then Poet can just jump in here and say, okay, this is what's going on, this is the information you need, go check it out. So it's going to be really, really useful having that additional presence, kind of managing things in the background, so that I can be here in the foreground going, stuff's happening, blue flames, because there are indeed still some blue flames. Let's remind ourselves what those blue flames are. Oh, the other thing I should mention is Heresy. The former player of Andalusia is here subbing in for Andalusia this time around. So hello Heresy, good to have you back. Of course, Dortian wasn't able to make it. There's a battle going on. So this is Tunis, Andalusia, and the Papal States versus the Mamelukes. Need to remember who's a player here. Ajam, Delhi, Hindustan. So quite a big war going on. It's not yet paused. We've got some units trying to retreat. Hindustan bringing more troops in. We've got Swedish condottieri, currently controlled by the AI. We have, I think, Ottoman condottieri. Oh, the other thing I should mention is Russia and the Ottomans are not allowed to declare any wars this session because of rule breaks which were occurring last session. This is, again, one of the reasons we need to have the administrator. The way that we decided to punish those two players is they're not allowed to declare any offensive wars. They can still join defensive. They can still be called in to offensive wars. They're just not going to be allowed to take anything in them. So that is one of the restrictions for this session. Then we have some rather more draconian rules coming in the future for people who do that. But again, now that we have a second observer who can warn players if they are doing something wrong, rather than me just after the fact having to come in saying, you broke this rule, I'm going to have to punish you for it. So yeah, I think it's a better system, and hopefully it works better. Poet's the right hand to the High Lord King Emperor. Indeed he is, yes. Papal States with Ottoman, Swedish, Portuguese, Prussian, Andalusian condottieri, and yeah, Andalusia then joined the war properly. So it's going to be interesting to see whether the players have actually got a deal put into place, because usually you don't want to have a player war going on between sessions. This is something that was very much established during the Paradox multiplayer clashes. And it's going to be very interesting to see if they have done some diplomacy behind the scenes, or if any other major powers are looking to intervene, because they could. Elephants in the desert, I think now I've seen everything. Wasn't that fairly normal? I mean, you would have Carthage who had elephants, and they were deserty. Not saying the whole of Africa is desert, because it's not. North of Africa is actually quite pleasant. But they would still have had, like, they've had a presence in Numidia? I'm not sure. Do Numidia have elephants? And yeah, Poet's saying, if you spot any rule breaking, please do @PoetCRG, and I'll make sure that it gets brought up. I'm not going to be able to keep up with chat. I have a lot to do. Yes, so make sure you actually ping him, so @Poet, if you see something going wrong. It does look like they have abandoned the fight here. Whether this is part of an agreement or not, I'm not sure. Papal States just joined into the fight. We've got Ajam still fighting. 120% discipline against 105 for Ajam. That looks like that was a Papal State victory. It does look like the Papal States are still trying to withdraw. I'm going to double check, because I don't seem to be getting any sound. Why is sound not coming through? Let's try that again. Set you to default. There we go, now we are.
Hello.
Hello.
I just thought I'd let people know that obviously there's been a peace.
Yep. Do you know any of the details about it?
I don't know the details, but there are various people who want to speak to you, and I'll be lining them up.
Okay, bring them in. And you should have the right to actually move people into chat. I was just double checking that before we started.
That's brilliant, thank you.
Mm-hmm. So I do wonder what the outcome of that piece was. Like I said, I was kind of anticipating that there would be some kind of agreement made between sessions, because this gives players a lot more time to go behind the scenes and do some diplomacy, but I don't know what the agreement was going to be. I haven't seen any obvious changing of borders or anything like that. Should also make an official statement regarding Ethiopia, because they're no longer protected.
Hello.
Hello.
This is Jam.
Hello.
Just wanted to talk about that big war that just ended.
Yeah, so what were the details for that?
Well, one thing I want to point out is the timing of the start of that war. So Tunis was watching my great power status very closely. And so as soon as I became a great power, he popped in and he's like, you're a great power now. So I broke the alliance with the Mamluks, and the exact next month he declared war. And the month after that, I dropped back out of great powers.
Right.
So...
So good timing on his part, but also definitely manipulating.
Good timing, yeah. He was watching it very closely. Because once I was able to build that relationship back up and reform the alliance, I came in and ended up with the highest war participation on our side.
Oh, nice. I kind of thought that would have been like Hindustan, but nice.
No, so I had 32%, Mamluks had 23, and Hindustan had 25.
Right.
Yeah.
So Ajam was made to bleed for this war. I do notice that you've ended it with no manpower.
Yeah, though I've been out of manpower most of the game.
I think many countries have been, actually, to be fair.
Yeah, though conquering the Persian lands is very manpower intensive.
Yeah, loads of mountains and things, lots of attrition.
Mostly mountains.
But now those are your mountains, and you're going to be the one that's...
Those are my mountains with my defensive ideas.
Just seeing how close you are to becoming great power again, yeah. You're in no danger for a while.
Yeah, no, especially now that we're doing it by development.
Mm-hmm.
I'm quite a bit off.
I was just going to go and double check what your ideas were. Do you have national luck? Yes, you do. Fort defense plus 20%, plus defensive ideas, giving you another... Where is it? I know it's here somewhere. There it is,
yes,
20%,
I've
40%.
Very much played to the strengths of the area.
And another one from local militias, 50%. Crikey. You're going to be a pain to conquer if anyone ever decides to do so.
I would advise that people do not try and attack me because I will put on all the state edicts as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was my threat with Tirhut as well. I'm like, I'm in a severe monsoon area. I've taken all the defensive stuff I can possibly do. Every single province has a fort. Come at me.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, being stuck between Ottomans and the giant hordes.
Yeah, and also the Indian powers. I mean, Delhi and Hindustan
And the
are not
Indian
nations to be
powers.
sniffed at. Yeah,
Currently friendly with the Indian powers.
currently.
Well, hopefully it stays that way.
Yep. I mean, you've done nothing to broker their ire, so you've been pretty
No.
good for them.
But yep, then now is the time of recovery.
As I suspect is going to be the case for basically everyone in the Middle East.
Yes, that was a very painful war. Some very large battles going on.
Yeah, and they were
And
all
some
in one
very
little
terrible
area, so it's just
terrain.
like, I need to watch this province, then need to watch this province. It's fine, I can do this.
Yeah, though the attrition was pretty painful as well.
Yes, quite a few high-level forts to be dealing with, all of them with defensive
Yep.
edicts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna jump back down into the dwarfs.
Thanks very much.
No problem.
So that was Blue Kiwi from Ajam, just giving us a little bit of a lowdown for their role in the war there, and how it got started. The Mamluks basically finding themselves diplomatically isolated. Ajam, the Tomb of Empires. Yeah, basically. And it does indeed look like Rashid, Al-Garba and Cairo were returned to the Mamluks. I'm not sure from whom. Who owned these before? Oh, it was Tunis. Yeah, Tunis owned all of those. They didn't have Alexandria. They do have claims on Alexandria. But this has given the Mamluks actually a very large chunk of their power base back again, because that's going to be 2 of the centres of trade. They are reduced down to level 1, so it will take a little bit of time for the Mamluks to restore their trade income from this region, but it should start to grow again. And the more control that they take over this, the less the Ottomans and the less the Papal States are going to be able to pull out of it. So the Mamluks in Alexandria definitely being in like a very key trade area for other people trying to get trade from the Far East and from the Orient, particularly before trade around Africa really gets going. I mean, it's starting to. We have actually 19 ducats already going around the Cape of Good Hope, but that's going to get swallowed up by the European powers. So Papal States will be one of the benefactors of that. But still, there is a fair amount of trade, I think, going through Alexandria. Although actually looking at the Gulf of Aden, there is nothing going into Alexandria at all. All of it is being held here, which is being grabbed by the Mamluks. So the Mamluks are actually collecting in 2 locations right now. I think now that they have enough control over Alexandria, they should start pushing it back forwards again. Although, actually, their share of control here is so weak right now. Probably want to give it a bit of time to build up and then start collecting again once they have like level 3 centres of trades up there. Don't see that very often. They plundered it, would seem. Yes. I don't know if you actually get anything for reducing a centre of trade, because I know it's possible. Or else it was only level 2, and then because it's changed owners, it went down to level 1. Because every time that happens, it does. And he has indeed formed the Timurids, so the Timurids are back again. Did Ajam keep the Timi ideas? No, they kept Ajam ideas, most likely because of the defensive advantages, as we heard earlier. Oh, that's actually going to be a lot of morale. 15 from there, another 10 from here. Nice. Fort maintenance also reduced. Yeah, they've got some nice defensive stuff going on. It's quite impressive. So yes, the red powers are definitely starting to rise in power here. We've got Great Britain, of course, starting to get a couple of their colonies going. We've got the newly added Timurids. We've got Iran, of course, dominating the Far East. We've got Japan. We've got Pasai, though that's not actually a player. Commonwealth and Milan, and Anhalt to slightly lesser extent, being more purpley than red. And then, of course, and we cannot possibly forget them, Memmingen. The other major red power in the HRE. So I wonder why Timurids. Government form, maybe? I'm not sure what being Timurid added. I might actually go and grab him. We'll have another word. Where are you? Blue Kiwi. Now the problem is dragging you around. Because I can't scroll. This is really annoying. Oh, I know what we can do. We can go into Gongdu. It's me again.
Hello.
I notice you've changed colour.
Yes, I realise that now I'm at peace. I can change colour, though my capital has changed to a very awkward province. So I'm probably going to change that back.
Oh yeah, Samarkand. That was the Timurid capital.
Yeah.
So why did you switch?
To Timurids, Empire rank is the big one.
Right, yeah, because I noticed you didn't take the ideas, you stayed with the Ajam ideas.
Yes, I like the Ajam ideas, and I was sort of comparing them. And I went Timurids rather than Persia because I wanted to stay Ikta government rather than feudal theocracy, and Persia is locked to feudal theocracy.
Gotcha. Yeah, it gives you a little bit more flexibility in terms of reforms and things.
Yes.
Also, feudal theocracy, is that a theocratic government? Must be.
No, it's still a monarchy.
Oh, okay. I wonder if they're getting some more reforms with the next patch, because I know theocracies for sure are.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if the feudal theocracy was.
It might be. I'm not sure.
Something to reread the dev diary over. Anyway, I just wanted to get your thoughts on why you switched to Timurids, so thanks.
No problem.
You were in Dwarfs, right? No, he's already gone. Cool. Back to my one for me as well. And I think actually I'm going to leave the administrator. Oh no, I can't move him again. Damn it. Stick the administrator like somewhere in the middle where he can reach everyone. So that's definitely an annoyance for me. Yeah, good. See if that helps. Who'll be the Euron to conquer the world? I'm not sure. I don't know who could be the Euron to conquer the world. Oh, that's true. Timurid missions. The part of this game I always forget about. Yes, they do indeed have the Timurid missions. And I'm guessing that they are more interesting than Ajam's missions. Although, prepare for war. Actually, that's not that difficult. Manpower at least 60%. Needs to get up to, like, 40 or so. And then, full force limit. And Timurids right now are at 76. 75 out of 76. And that actually makes that a lot easier. Okay, Poet just showing me how to do stuff on Discord I didn't even know about. That's kind of good to know. Cool. What happened with Mexico? That is a good question, because we paused the game last time because of the war between Spicy Siberia and avocados from Mexico. And I do wonder if this war has grown. It doesn't look like it. Now, if we go over to the Kamchandals, and then go over to avocados, and then enforce peace, this is still something which they should be able to do. The problem that they were getting is they couldn't press confirm here. Cannot enforce a peace on a defender in a war, and Spicy Siberia was the aggressor. So, okay. So it looks like it's only actually Spain who can try to enforce the peace. I thought they could always enforce peace in their own colony.